this afternoon is news that the BBC staff have attended a course called The Art of Interrupting Gracefully. Sadly, regular viewers of this show will know that none of us have been on that course. But the women happily interrupting your afternoon with me, Kate Thornton, today are Linda Bellingham, Carol McGiffin and Denise Welsh. Helping you to beat the Monday blues is the actor whose character is harbouring a junkie deep in debt from gambling and is now at the mercy of a gangster. See, girls, things ain't so bad.
Yes.
Yes, it's Taggart star John Mickey. And fresh from last night's Dancing on Ice action, it's the one and only Emma Bunton. We're going to be catching up with both of them a little later, but first of all, Denzi, you're still flying the flag for the Nanas.
Nanas on ice! Oh, I mean, I'm tired. I was really surprised last night. I was telling the audience before, because I did try to act it through, because I thought that they had been saying about me being an actress and therefore I should put more into it. So I did try to do serene and sophisticated, which, you know, as I said, doesn't come that naturally to me. But oh, I cringe a lot. I got...
Oh, you look lovely, Jen. And look, that's...
Nice. Well, I did it on my own. It was a nice little dress. Honestly, that costume department are just beyond belief, the detail that goes into them. Oh, there she goes, Nana.
This is one of your required elements, yeah? Your skill set?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, and I got marked... Thank you. I got marked quite well on my jump and on my step sequence. But you know, as a performer, when you come off, you don't focus on the things you did right. It's the things you did wrong. And I did have to do this sort of roll-up lift where I was meant to then be jerked up even higher and get my knee onto Matt's shoulder, which we'd done, of course, loads in rehearsals. But I ended up being sort of halfway down his back, so then trying to turn my face into this was meant to happen in this contorted position. But that's the thing, you see, and that's what skaters do. They say nobody knew that routine, so nobody knew that. But I can't tell you how chuffed I was, because although the public vote, thankfully, and so grateful to them, have got me through this far, not really the judges' votes, it was nice to stand there and be complimented for once, because I have been working on
relatively high score for you.
And if I'd done that glum and spin, high score for me. I didn't hear what you said there. What did you say?
Relatively. Anyway,
high score
more
for
with
you.
Amazon a little
Yeah,
later.
absolutely. But it was
well
because
done.
enough for you now. Yeah.
Fellas is back.
Anyway, talk about me again. Sorry, Adon.
Well, this is a subject close to your heart. The UK is trying to tackle the rise in alcohol-related deaths. The government wants to impose a minimum price per unit, forcing drinkers to pay over 20 pence per unit for lager and wine. However, leading medical experts have suggested that this doesn't go far enough, saying the minimum price should be set at 50 pence per unit, which they argue will help to save around 250,000 lives in the next 20 years. So this means that a pint of average strength supermarket lager containing 2 units, which currently costs just 29 pence, would cost at least £1, so it's quite a steep rise. So what do you think, ladies? Is this proposal the right way forward?
No. Well, I just think it's another one of these, what should we do now? First of all, you know, you're highly suspicious about where the money's going.
Well, to the
you know,
government,
we all know, you know, that we need they need the money. I worry that people who are serious drinkers, they will just take it out of their children's money for their food. I mean, I've seen people say, oh, you know, I've got no money, but they managed to buy 20 fags and a bottle of scotch. And I just think we should be tackling the root problem of why young people it is, really, isn't it? They've honed in on 250,000 people, which is a small amount of people, actually, in the great scheme of things.
Well, no, actually,
and if people want to die of drink, you know...
I'd like to know how they know that. And the way they say the headline was 250,000 people will die from boozing. How can they possibly know that?
Well,
they just put figures out to scare people so they can put the tax up on it.
Based on the average number of deaths that are related back to alcohol at the moment and predicted rises in drinking patterns, etc.
Yeah, I mean, let's be honest, there are a lot of drink-related accidents. Always makes me laugh. Now I've stopped, but all the times I fell over and sprained my ankle, and I went, oh, I sprained my ankle. And if somebody said to me, how did you do that? Oh, well, I was drunk. I never owned up to it. So, I mean, of course it's not good to drink. Of course it can kill you. Smoking kills you. The point is, by raising the money, it's not enough. They should be worrying about the behaviour of the people. Let's have the people off the streets. Drunk and disorderly used to be a crime.
But it actually still It's just not enforced
Yeah, but
as
they
much.
don't enforce it.
No, they
That's
don't.
right.
I mean, what they're using here as a fallback argument is look at what the smoking ban's done and the way we tax cigarettes. That's really been a deterrent to people.
It's the
Stop the
smoking
drinking.
ban, not the fact that they... Of course it has hit people in the pocket, smokers, but, I mean, a bit like you say, people will always find the money to have... You know, and some people have got rubbish lives, so you can't blame them for finding the money to buy a bottle of scotch and a packet of fags in many, you know, instances. But I think it was more... I think it's more the smoking ban that has made people give up smoking rather than the money.
There's a very different argument between smoking and drinking. Smoking, we know, it doesn't matter if you smoke 1 cigarette or 100, it's bad for you. It's not good. You can drink in moderation and it not damage your health. So why are the people that can exercise moderate drinking, you know, of which I consider myself to be one, be penalised and have their alcohol hiked up 3 times the cost that it is now to cover a small majority that just can't handle their drink, can't handle themselves.
Also, Kate, this, you know, this does... It hurts, really, the poorest people. You know, that's it. You know, there's a lot of people who can afford to spend £10 on a bottle of wine, but a lot of people can't. And that's why people don't go out. You know, that's why people do drink at home. You know, that's why they go to the supermarket and buy cheap beer. I don't blame them. You know, it's people's pleasure. It's some people's little pleasure. They're not out on the streets causing havoc.
Exactly, and I think they've targeted whether they've got this 250,000. But, you know, a Saturday night, there are, you know, gangs of people going out just, you know, who drink a bottle of vodka. A young 18-year-old drinks a bottle of vodka before they go out.
In other countries, it doesn't tend to lead to the thuggery and the violence that it does in our country.
What the government are saying is, we've got a problem. This is a drain on resources. This is unacceptable behaviour. People are dying unnecessarily. What are the government to do if they don't?
Why do they then do 24-hour? Why do they then do 24-hour opening? Exactly. I have to say, my dad never found. Whenever I go there,
it doesn't actually exist. Exactly, it doesn't really exist. I don't think hiking up the price isn't going to make the slightest bit of difference. There are countries that have alcohol, like, you know, twice the price that we pay for it. And we pay a lot for it. I think we're like 4th in the league or something for the most expensive booze. But it doesn't make any difference. You know, in countries where it's really restricted, say, some Scandinavian countries where the government owns all the off-licence. They only open for like 3 hours a day. They've got a really high incidence of alcoholism. So it doesn't make any difference. People want to drink, they will drink.
I blame the weather. It's sunny, you don't need to get drunk, do you? Just kind of...
Oh, I don't know. When the sun's out, I think, oh, I'll have a drink. Well, let us know what you think. Remember, we're always open to hear your discussions. We wax lyrical all day, but you can make sure that your voice is heard too. Go to the website, itv.com/loosewomen, or email us, loose.women@itv.com, or you can go to our Facebook and Twitter pages. We could be reading out your comments if they're in before 1:15 today. That's the 21st of February. OK, we're off for a break? A break? Oh, who fancies a drink? But when we return, can boredom ever benefit a marriage? Find out in 2.